Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the third session of our conclave on media and democracy. I'm Rajiv Singh, the moderator for the session. Joining us in this esteemed panel is Kashimbi Limata, Director, Parliamentary Broadcasting, National Assembly from Zambia. Welcome to the conclave, Ms. Limata.
Thank you very much for the invite. I'm looking forward to a fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Dr. Marjan Madjovski, Head of the Department of the Supportive Council of the Parliamentary Channel in North Macedonia, joins us. Welcome to the conclave, Dr. Madjovski.
Hi, how are you? Are you fine?
Yes. And Mr. Laksman Sumano Arias joins us from Mexico. Welcome.
Thank you very much
Mr.
for the welcome.
Arias.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Together, our esteemed guests will share their insights, experiences, and vision for parliamentary media's role in modern democracy. I'm sure we are going to have an engaging, thought-provoking session, and we explore parliamentary media to continue its vital role as a pillar of a democratic society. As in the first two sessions, the CEO of Sansad TV, Rajit Punhani sir, joins us in this session too to share his thoughts on the issues that crop up during the discussion. For the benefit of our panel and our audiences, we have further divided this session into 6 parts. In the first, we would be talking about funding, revenue model, and financial sustainability. After that, we would be discussing functions and missions, including the committees, followed by reach and engagement and the steps to enhance those aspects. That will be followed by technology and AI, furthering which we will discuss future outlook of these channels, and before closing with the audience round of questioning, we would be discussing democracy and civic engagement. Let me begin with you, Dr. Madjovski. How does North Macedonia's parliamentary TV sustain its operations financially, and what funding model do you adhere to?
Thank you. First of all, allow me to congratulate to the organization of this first international conclave on this topic of media and democracy. Thank you to host and all participants, and to opportunity to speak on behalf of Macedonian Parliamentary Channel. I already sent a really brief presentation of the model of functioning of our parliamentary TV channel, which I assume you can share. And now I will highlight a few points about the probably optimal model of TV channel as an answer of some of issue, and concretely you address this issue about financial matters on today's meeting. First, in this time of crisis of the legitimacy of the institutions, of the trust of the citizens, I believe that the Parliament should be completely open to the public, completely, and the parliamentary channels should transmit almost everything that happens in it, without exceptions, and including the work of the committees, of course. Parliament should do that through their own parliamentary televisions, but at the same time through web streaming and, of course, through focused and interactive activities on social networks. But it should not be allowed in a situation of so-called cacophony of information, the same type of information in this modern society. In such an ambient, Parliament will lose the pace, or will follow only the pace and interests of social networks. This is especially so because the parliament has a major controlling role over the government and generally should dictate the democratic pace in society. Second, this approach will encourage the sustainability of parliamentary channel as a key democratic need, not just an ordinary transmitter of political activities, and all this does not require too many resources for the state's finance situation at all. Thirdly, the perception that private televisions practically they are hijacking the parliamentary agenda, I would say, through selecting, simplifying, and spinning the parliamentary issues that are important to them and their financiers. And this position is becoming more and more widespread. That is why the ordinary citizen is confused about the full context of the legislative proposals and generally about political topics. Therefore, as many stakeholders as possible should be included in parliamentary activities, and all of this should be visible to public. For it is good that political campaigns during elections are broadcast free of charge on parliamentary channels. In this way, the TV space is filled between two parliamentary sessions, but also between two parliamentary mandates. At the same time, this reduces the ability of the government to control the private media for its own purpose through expensive pre-election subsidies.
Okay, Mr. Laksman Sumano in Mexico. The same
Thank you very
question
much.
for you about the funding and the revenue model that your channel follows.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the invitation from our President of the Chamber of Deputies, Sergio Gutierrez Luna, and the President of the Senate, Gerardo Fernandez Noroña. On my behalf, I extend greetings from my General Director, Raúl Paz Alonso. Well, about the Mexican Congress channel and the financial, we live with the money in both cameras of the Congress. We have a financial project from the Congress, the half from the lower house and the other half for the upper house. We work from 25 years with this model, and it's the financial terms depends about the economy in the Congress in the country, and we are working in this model for 25 years. The channel is growing each time because, well, the technology is growing too. Then we incorporate new media ways to broadcast in different ways. I mean, we start with only channel in cable TV. We grow to all the media in cable in Mexico, in all the country. Then we start broadcast in open signal in Mexico City and all the Mexico City place. Then we jump to the internet in streaming, in different ways of streaming, yes. And later, today, we are in open TV in Mexico, we are in the internet, and we are in the social media. Then this growth of the channel needs more money for work. Then we have to find the way in the money in the countries for sustainability, this model of broadcasting. Then we are working with the money of the Congress in this moment. Well, we have different ways to work because we have a committee of deputies and senators who decide all this, and our general director, Raúl Paz, decides all the project for the money from the channel. We have 25 years working in this way with our own money in the Congress, and we don't have any financial options add to this I compare you.
Okay. We had lost Miss Limata for a while. Hope she is able to grab the discussion. And Miss Limata, we too want to know how it works in Zambia. The funding
Thank
part.
you. I'm sorry, I had a bit of a glitch with my connectivity. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the funding model that we use for our channel is we do it in 3 ways. We have the main budget that comes from the central government. So from the budget that's allocated to Parliament, the budget is split in the various functions of Parliament, and that encompasses the broadcasting department. So that's our main means of funding. So maybe I should even mention, to just give a bit of a historical background, when we actually started the channel, this was our only source of funding. But then realizing the costs that come with running of a channel, which are very expensive, we decided to expand and look at other avenues. So now we are looking at the central government funding, which I've already alluded to. Then we also have donor funding. Most of our equipment, actually, which made us to set up the channel, came through donor funding. Then we now also have another model where we have gone partial commercial. So we have started getting some revenue from the content that we generate. So now we have started also getting some revenue from the content. If we do productions, we have started charging. So that's the model that we're using now. So we've stopped relying on one model of funding, realizing the costs that comes with the day-to-day running of the parliamentary channel.
My next question is to CEO Sansad TV. We had earlier 2 separate channels covering the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Now we have merged for the last 3 years into Sansad TV. What positives have come out of this merger, and how has it affected the revenue and funding of the parliamentary channel that we have here?
The merger has had many positive, synergies. Earlier we had a separate channel for the lower house and a separate channel for the upper house. So the professionals, a lot of the work was getting duplicated in our control rooms. So now we don't have that problem, but otherwise we are basically public funded. We also get some revenue from social media, like when we upload our channels on YouTube, then we do not allow advertisements, but YouTube does give us a little bit of revenue depending on the views and the likes. We have now 8.5 million subscribers. But basically we depend on the government for funding, and that also helps us in being away from any private funding.
Okay, now we are moving to the second segment on functioning and the mission. And this question again is for all the panelists. We all know how politically polarized media landscape has become in recent years. Given that, how do the channels, the parliamentary channels that you represent, balance neutrality with informative coverage?
Okay, I start if you...
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, Mr. Laksman Sumano from Congress Channel, Mexico. Thank you very much. Okay, we work in the Congress Channel for like a glass. We found the people, the citizens, can access to the information about our representatives all the time. We not edit, we not cut in sessions or commit works. We broadcast live all the time without any kind of interpretation, the information for one way. It's our mission for the first time. Second, we have news, radio, and television broadcast. We have 3 channels of television in Mexico City and in cable. We have 3 news broadcasts in the night, in the middle day, and weekends. And we have a news radio program in Radio Congreso in Mexico City. We stream this radio station for the first time, and we talk about the parliamentary works all day. And we have music, and we have citizens programs. Then we try to connect the people with our deputies and senates all the time, all the day, in radio, television, streaming, and social media. We are working in multi-platforms in 12 hours a day. Now, when we have intensive works in the floor, we never cut this broadcast. If the debate is long and we have different fights sometimes about one topic, we don't cut the broadcast. We continue broadcast all the time, and our programs, series, and news are suspended by the moment, and we broadcast the session of the works in the committee all the time. We think that Mexico has experienced a significant democratic push in various spheres of political activity. The balance between the power of the state and the greater social participation have given a legislative power a predominant role in defining political, economic, social, and cultural change. With this democratic spirit, the legislator in the 57th legislature, I think in 1987, we start this project from broadcast all the working in television. We start in television, in cable, we have the in open signal in Mexico City now. Later, we start in streaming broadcast. Later in radio, and finally in social media in Mexico City. We try to connect the citizens with the power legislative.
Okay. Dr. Marjan Madjovski in North Macedonia, can you please elaborate on your channel's approach on impartiality and objectivity in its programming, particularly when covering sensitive issues?
As I said in previous answer, our parliamentary channel is covering all parliamentary activities without any exception. So that is approach, that is a model how to avoid some kind of taking side, and we are covering all activities, plenary session, committees, and other activities like conference. That is first. Second, we are working on some kind of bylaw rules, how to, when we prepare and broadcasting interviews, how to provide a balanced representation of position and opposition. So at the end of this year, we will finish this document, and we will working on the basis of provisions of this document. So that's our approach. And I will answer about concrete way of financing of our TV channel. We are 100% financed by the budget of the parliament. The budget of the parliament is, of course, part of the budget of the state. So we are not counting of any other revenues for now. That's my answer.
We are delighted to welcome Dr. Maika Jachmann, Head of Online Services Division at Parliamentary Television, German Bundestag. Welcome to the conclave, Dr. Jachmann.
Hello, welcome from Germany. I'm here with my colleague from the Parliamentary TV, Sebastian, and we will talk about our German Parliamentary TV I'm very interested in your questions, and we will answer. And I give the word to Mr. Schwarzschild.
In your absence, ma'am, we were discussing about the funding model that the television channels follow, the parliamentary channels. What's the funding model? As we had discussed in our communication, it is probably a public service in Germany.
Yeah, we started as a parliamentary television in 1999 when the German Bundestag was still in Bonn, a small city in Western Germany. Nowadays it moved to Berlin after 99. And we started linear broadcasting with 4 channels, and the distribution was via cable and satellite by that time. And since you mentioned the public broadcasters, we have a very strong public broadcasting system in Germany. We have ARD and ZDF, the main 2 public broadcasters here. But they are only, let's say, interested in broadcasting the key time of plenary sessions, but not at all any committee meetings. So there was interest in the German Bundestag to have a full coverage of all the public meetings and hearings. And that was the reason why parliamentary television was founded. And since 1999, we broadcast each and every public meeting, either plenary or committee meeting, live in full length and without any comment. And the audience is appreciating this, and we have, let's say, a stable amount of people from year to year that are more interested in our service in that short form.
Okay, Dr. Jachmann, in our communication, you had also mentioned that the parliamentary TV in Germany produces 1,000 hours of programming annually. What types of content do you prioritize beyond the plenary debates and committee meetings?
Yeah, we have, if I'm allowed, I'm going to answer.
Yes, really. Of course, because it's your division, and we will talk together, and we discussed about your questions. It was very interesting for us.
Okay.
But thank you very much. And we will answer.
So I have an update. The 1,000 hours we have in this year, much more. We have almost 1,400 hours of public committee meetings and plenary meetings. Besides of this broadcast, we offer a small amount of interviews. We have little pieces that explain the parliamentary business and the agenda of the Bundestag. But this is, let's say, only 5% of our total amount of production and broadcast is editorial content. So it's very little in comparison to plenary and committee meetings.
Okay. Mr. Punhani, most of the countries with parliamentary television coverage, they also broadcast committee meetings. We in India probably come up with short packages on that, but we are not continuously broadcasting committee meetings. Is there any change that we can foresee in the future on this aspect?
Yes, we telecast live the proceedings of the Parliament, but the committee meetings, we do not broadcast them live. But the findings of the committee, when they placed on the table of the House, then we have a discussion on that with experts. There are conflicting views regarding the live telecast of committee meetings. On the one hand, there is a view that it will enhance transparency. On the other hand, there is a view that the discussion will play to the gallery or to the voters' constituency, and the quality of the debate of the discussion might be affected. But we are striving towards that because many citizens are interested in watching the live telecast of the committee.
Now we move on to the third. We presently don't have Miss Limata with us, it seems. So, she's there. Yeah. Miss Limata, how do you go with the committee meetings? Do you broadcast it in Zambia?
Yes, we do broadcast committee meetings. So we do them in this format because we have instances where we have more than one committee sitting at the same time. So we do a schedule. So we broadcast one committee as a live production, then we record the others and broadcast them later as recorded programs. So this this consists most of our content, especially when the House is on recess, because that's when we have a lot of committees doing their work during that time. So yes, we do broadcast committee meetings, of course, with exception of committees that are housekeeping that are held in camera. But for the rest of the other committees, we do broadcast them.
Okay, now we move on to the third segment, that is audience reach and engagement. How do parliamentary channels in the countries that you represent measure audience response and engagement to your channels? May we begin with Mr. Sumano in Mexico.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, we have interest about citizens and audiences because in this moment in Mexico, our Congress is discuss and approve the Constitution. Then we have a lot of people watching the Congress channel because the Congress is moving on the Constitution. Then we have 17 debates about Constitution modifications in the floors, upper and lower house, in the committees all the time. We broadcast 20-30 committees a day. We broadcast live 8-7 committees in both chambers. In streaming, we have 3 channels in Open TV, and we broadcast committees and floor works from both chambers in the Congress channel. Okay, then the citizens select in streaming or in open television what they want to see. They want to see the committee works, or they want to see the debate in the floor. Then the citizens of Mexico have the possibility to select what kind of information they have or they want. Then we streaming all the time these works. And at the same time in the Mexico Congress, we have committee works and the floor works. Then we have the both options to the citizens, to the audiences, and the citizens decide what they have to watch. And the most important here is the Constitution is moving in the both chambers and in committees. Then we broadcast Monday, Sunday in the moment when the parliamentary work is start and finished. We broadcast live, sometimes 24 or 27 live from the Congress. The works are continuous, and we never cut the streaming in committees or in floor.
Ms. Limata, what's the current reach of your channel in the demographic trends that affect their viewership?
Sorry?
I was asking about the reach of your channel, basically, and if I may add, how are the younger generation reacting to the broadcast of your parliamentary channel in Zambia?
Okay. In Zambia, our population, the majority of our population are mostly young people. So this has been a challenge for us and this in the broadcasting department, because then we realize that whatever decisions that Parliament makes affects the majority of the population and who are young people. And we've been striving over the years to try as much as possible to program our content in such a way that we attract the young people. So away from the sitting of the House, which we broadcast live, and committees, we have deliberate policies that we target young people. Like, for example, just a couple of days ago, we were broadcasting a youth parliament. So this is away from the main business of the house, but we feel in our opinions that when we bring on board certain programs that directly affect the young people, in a way we try and reach out to them. Of course, we broadcast on, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and these, we believe, are platforms that can reach out to the young people. But as I've already mentioned, in our programming, we also try to tailor programs. We even have programs like the Children's Parliament. So we feel that when the young people are able to see maybe their fellow young people in a in a mock parliament of young people, then in some way they get to be, their interest towards parliamentary business can tend to increase. So it is, I should mention, it is still a challenge because, you know, parliament sits for long hours. And, you know, the young people will not have the time to sit and watch parliament sit for hours on end. So it is still a challenge, but those are some of the mitigation measures that we are embarking on as a parliament. And probably would love to even learn from other parliaments what other means or what other models they are using to try and attract young people. Bringing on board social media is one thing that's helping us. And yeah, I think that's what I can say for now.
Yeah, that is the whole exercise about learning from each other's experiences. Dr. Jachmann, how does the German parliamentary channel cater to the younger audience who basically now consume content online? Dr. Jachmann in Germany?
First, let me say some words to the younger people. We hope that our program is also for young people. It's really, we want, yes, that also younger people can look to our program. And besides the websites for adults, we have editorial team responsible for websites intended for children and young people, and that is Kuppelkucker and Mitmischen, 2 websites also for video content, and to the technical things will answer my colleague.
Yeah, we have a different approach in comparison to the other countries. Maybe we are trying to make our technical barriers as low as possible to deliver all our content to other distributors that have the focus on editing the footage, especially for younger people. We offering very low and little barriers for metadata for all our content, so that it's available on YouTube, on social media. We have an own social media department here in the Bundestag. They are also in charge of our material, to broadcast it, to edit it, to offer it to younger target groups. And yeah, but the most important thing of our approach is to offer these the whole content to external producers, TV stations and production houses, so that they can work with the material to offer it to certain target groups.
Okay, can I take this question to Mr. Sumano in Mexico about attracting young audiences towards the parliamentary programming?
Well, we work in different levels. In the first level, about the youth people, about the kids, we work with special programs for each audiences. Okay, we work in youth programs about our working production people. We work in kids programs, and we work in women women programs is important because in Mexico we have an important movement about the equality between men and women. We have our parliament around the globe. It's equal. The middle is women, the middle is men. Then we have a special asset in women broadcasts and interviews and all this stuff. Well, we worked too in Mexico. We have original people in different states. We work in this way too, and well, the most important here is we work in our programming, in our broadcast with youth people in social media, like my other partners in the world. We work in this way for try to attracting the youth people with specific content. But we have youth movements of politics. Then we have young people in Mexico, women and men, interesting in public things, in parliamentary topics. Then we found alliances with other networks for communicate the parliamentary works. Today we have alliance with national public media networks in all the country. We have about 62 media, public media in all Mexico, and we sent the contents for more audiences. We worked too with the network of university radios of Mexico. We sent the contents to the university radios, and with parliamentary people and other media in Latin America. I mean, we sent our broadcast to Parlatino TV. We sent our to Radio Congreso in Argentina, and we work together with these contents, and we try to link the Mexican Congress with young women, kids, and other countries and other people in Latin America. And we talked recently with CISPAN, United States. Then we are working to expand the networks with our context, and what happened in Mexico, in the Parliamentary of Mexico, we have these networks working all the time to send the programs, the broadcasts, all the time to expand the networks.
Okay, Dr. Madjovski in North Macedonia, the same question to you about the young audiences and parliamentary television programming to attract them to watch and learn from those proceedings and committee meetings and about their rights and other things.
There are several activities which our parliament is doing on this field. First, we are organizing conference so-called Third Parliament, and we are broadcasting their work on that Third Parliament. Second, we are every year we are organizing so-called Open Parliament Days, in which young people from elementary and secondary schools and NGOs together make specific activities to become more closer with the parliamentarians and parliamentarians' activities. And third, every year about 8,000 young people from elementary and secondary school are visiting parliamentary buildings, and they are introduced with all parliamentary activities and with the way of parliamentary studio is working.
Okay. Dr. Jachmann, how does the parliamentary TV in Germany assess audience feedback, and how has this shaped programming in a way? Dr. Jachmann in Germany?
I don't understand you, please.
Yes. How do you assess audience feedback, and how those inputs that come affect the programming for the German parliamentary television?
We have only our program is depends on the meetings in the plenary seatings or committee seatings, and that's why we have our website, and there you can see our program. That's parallel. So, and yeah, we try to talk about the program in text on the website, and that's our way to connect to the people. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We don't have any editorial programmings, or it's not us that makes the decision of broadcasting a certain meeting or not. It's forbidden for the state in Germany to be an active broadcaster. This is for public broadcasters and private broadcasters. As the German government and the German parliament, we are forced to very strict rules, and this is to not have an own programming schedule of our broadcasting. So that's why Dr. Jachmann just explained that it's the plenary agenda itself that sets our broadcasting agenda. So we are only, let's say, mirroring what is taking place in the parliament. There are no programming decisions made by us to say, okay, we are going to broadcast this, but not that. No, we have everything at the same time. We broadcast up to 7 parallel live signals and committee meetings besides the plenary agenda and the plenary meeting, and we broadcast everything live in full length. That's our only aim.
Okay. Now we move on to the segment on technology and AI. What technologies in parliamentary TV channels are followed in the respective countries? That is what I want to know. And Mr. Arias, Sumano, we are into the digital age now, and what I'm interested to know is the measures taken by your channel to increase your digital footprint.
Well, in Mexico, we are working in that way because the digital technology is important. We are near from the United States, then we have a lot of things in common with the United States and C-SPAN program, but we have our aspects indeed. Well, we work for digital in streaming, okay? Streaming channels is important. We are broadcasting all the time in this new platform. But in Mexico, the access in digital technologies, we have a lot of people who can't access in this moment a digital platforms. This we have in both sides. We are in the signals, open signals for TV, radio signals open in radio. We are working in that way. And we are working at the same time in digital workout, internet portal, streaming channels, Radio Congress in streaming, and the Instituto Politécnico Nacional, National Polytechnical Institute in Mexico, developed for us an app for smartphones. Then we have the streaming broadcast of 3 channels and other streamings in the app. And we have the radio station all the time in this app. Then I think we are working in that way. We're working with apps in the smartphones because in this country, all the people have smartphone. And then the Congress, we have to be there for the audiences. But I insist, a lot of people in Mexico don't have access to digital channels or digital technology. Then we have in both sides, in digital program and in normal program, open TV, open radio, because we are working for all the people in Mexico.
Okay. Ms. Limata, what role do you see for the legislative channels in shaping international dialogues on democracy, AI, and future of governance? Ms. Limata? So this question can be taken up by Dr. Jachmann. I was just asking one of our panelists about the role that you see the legislative channels play in shaping international dialogues on democracy, AI, and future of governance.
Excuse me. My English is not so good because that's a little bit difficult for me to answer that. I will, it would be good if I could send our answers later in for you, and you can really share it to the other participants. And now Mr. Madjovski will answer in English, and ask him please after or for the next questions. That would be nice. Thank you very much.
That's perfectly appreciated. May I ask this question to CEO Sansad TV about the parliamentary channels shaping international dialogues on democracy, AI, and future of governance?
So yes, I'll first talk about AI and then I'll come to the international aspect. In AI, we are doing a lot of work. We have archived and digitized a lot of our archives, and now we can search on our website any particular subject. Suppose it is women development, then the debates that have taken place on women development over the last 20 years have been digitized, and so AI can play back or even give you a summary of the debates that have happened over the years. We have also developing a software, because we have 22 languages, official languages in our schedule. So any member can speak in any of these 22 languages. So we are developing a software in which if a person speaks in his local language, we will be able to use that software, and the viewer can listen to it in the language of his choice. So that is work in progress. And nowadays, with a globalized world, in fact, we're talking about AI at the same time, we are also trying to develop software so that our proceedings can also be viewed in the language, in international languages like French or Spanish. So that software is also work in progress. We have one challenge that we face is accuracy. Like all parliaments have to be very accurate in their translation. So the machine is learning, and in due process and in due time, once the machine learns, we will be able to achieve 100% accuracy in time to come. The other challenge that we face in AI is what is in this globalized world is what we have, these deep fake videos and misinformation. So that is also one challenge which AI can be very beneficial, but then it has its risks, and these risks also we have to address so that we are able to give the youth credible, authentic information.
Okay. Mr. Sumano, in Mexico, you heard the concerns that were raised about AI, and how can we leverage AI to support fact-checking and maintaining accuracy? Are there concerns about AI-generated misinformation in Mexico?
Well, the answer is in our legislatives. I mean, we have committees about this topic, committees in the actual works about the EA and the impact the EA in society. Then in the Congress channel, we are exploring the applications for EA, and in our work in the news, we have different topics about the EA, but we expect the resolutions about the committees about this topic, because it's too new and they have risks sometimes about this the media and the Congress media, they have a lot of challenge about this topic of EA. Then in Mexico, in the Congress channel, indeed, we are working to explore the functionality about our work, but at the moment we don't have a program in EA at the moment, but we are working with our committees about this topic, and we are develop some facts about the impact of EA in democracy, of EA impact in the Congress channel. Then we are working together with our legislators about this topic.
Okay. Ms. Limata, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure. Ms. Limata, you heard to the concerns that were raised about AI and how it can be helpful and both beneficial and could be counterproductive in a sense. And how is Zambia preparing itself to deal with AI and future technologies? Because Parliament has to be very transparent and very accurate.
Indeed, Parliament has to be transparent and accurate, and these are, of course, the tenets of democracy, because in any democratic society, transparency is held in very high esteem. And that's where we come in as a broadcasting channel that provides a platform where the people are able to follow the proceedings of Parliament without any alteration. People are able to see what happens in Parliament for themselves. Then coming to the issue of AI, it's still a new topic, and we're a developing country. And even now, when we talk about the avenues or the interventions that we have taken as a channel, we started with running our channel on one platform, and we have grown over the years to other 3 platforms. And then we have also embraced the aspects of social media via YouTube, via Facebook. But then you realize that in a country like Zambia, not everyone has access to internet. You can see me, I'm the director here of Parliamentary Broadcasting, and you can see how the internet already is trying to fail me on this program. So we are not yet at a level where the internet is accessible throughout the country. We still have a lot of challenges, and we still have to look at other models. We have, of course, the traditional media with traditional medium of communication like radio. But then we have to move with the trends. We talked about the engagement of young people, and how do we reach the young people is obviously to delve into the platforms where the young people find it easier to access information, and that's through social media platforms. So I think we still have milestones as a country, and of course as a channel that provides this very valid platform. Because then, in as much as we want to advance our democracy, Parliament is at the epicenter of any democratic country. And that's where the link of parliamentary channels come in. Because then without this link through a parliamentary channel, then there will be a mismatch, because Parliament will be doing something and then probably the citizens will not have access to know what exactly goes on in Parliament. So it's still a challenge, and it's still not just a challenge, but also an opportunity for Parliament to start engaging, and also to start thinking how we leverage on the new trends so that we move with the current times. So I think that's how far I can comment on the issues of new media and vis-a-vis AI.
Okay. Would our German guest add on to the issue of AI and the new media that we were talking about?
Yeah, we do also have certain committees taking care of artificial intelligence. As I just described, our enormous amount of productions and live events a year, we are forced to use AI. We are using subtitles for every spoken word in every language we broadcast, so it's not possible for us to produce subtitles for 1,600 hours of live broadcast without AI. It's simply too much. We are broadcasting certain events in in different languages as well. We have for foreign languages subtitles as well. So yeah, we do use AI in certain specific topics. But since we also want to be a reliable source for everybody, we are using it with very carefully and only in certain topics. If it comes to new media, as I just said before, we are trying to offer social media plugins for our live footage with very low technical barriers. So it's easy for third parties, especially young people, for example, or social media platforms to integrate our live feed, to integrate the footage. This is our strategy.
Okay. Now let us move towards the next segment of a future outlook for the parliamentary channels. And I would like to ask Mr. Sumano regarding what does the future hold for parliamentary channel in Mexico. And I ask this because media landscape, Mr. Sumano, is shifting towards digital platforms and social media.
Well, we are working in that way, but it's important here the terms about social media. I mean, the social media are enterprises like X, you know about X, about the things about talking and debates about X. YouTube is an enterprise, a private enterprise. YouTube is a private enterprise. Then the contents we broadcast in that platform, that social media, they have risk. Then we are develop our streamings, our portal, internet portal, to streaming directly to our citizens. But we know we need the social media, like Spotify for the radio content, for the podcast we produce. We need that ways to distribute our contents. But we are very cautelous. We have the risks. We know the risk about broadcast in this platform, in this social media. When I visited China years ago, we found about China have the social media developed for Chinese people. Then I think we have to understand the risk to have our broadcast in these social platforms. For that reason, we have our app in the smartphones. We develop with Mexican technology. We develop an app, the personal app, to broadcast radio and television streamings. Okay, we know we need the social media, the private social media, to broadcast our content, our programs, because the young people is in this platform, and it's very interesting. You broadcast, and the young people take a piece of this broadcast and make a lot of things. But we know the risk about broadcast only in these social media enterprises. Then we have two ways to broadcast: in our app, in our streaming, in our portal, and at the same time in social media accounts. Well, the future of Congress Channel, we have to expand the digital access in all the contents about the debates, because Mexican people is very political people. Then all the time we are watching the Congress Channel, the reforms for our constitution, the debates about the taxes, the debates about women, the debates about the work, the laws about work, and all the time we have people interested in the parliamentary, in the Mexican Congress topics. But we are working in that way to access all this information without the editorial of media, of the private or public media, and we are working in that way. We have a news broadcast with our broadcast with our politicals, no, and regulate both by binding norms and self-regulation policies, which are fundamental for a communication medium that addresses political and legislative matters, adhering to principles of plurality, equality, representatives, objectivity, transparency, and accountability. We are working all the time in these ways, and very interesting in more people watching our broadcast.
Okay. The CEO of Sansad TV, Mr. Punhani. We'll be taking your reaction and going to him. And what are the challenges for the parliamentary channels in adapting to post-broadcast world where streaming and on-demand content are predominant?
Yes, this is, thank you for the question. Yes, this is a very big challenge. We also are now onto social media because we believe that to attract the youth to watch parliament proceedings or our programs related to parliament like Question Hour or other programs that we have, other content that we have made. So we have about 8.5 million subscribers on YouTube. We have recently made short reels which we put on Instagram, and this has attracted a lot of youth view these channels. But as I think Mr. Sumano had mentioned, there are risks, and we have also developed an app of our own. But we feel very strongly that unless we are on the social media platforms, then the youth may not watch the important content that affects our nation and affects the citizens. So we do strive to be on social media and to enhance our viewership.
Mr. Madjovski, hope your audio is clear this time, and I would like to put the same question about social media and post-broadcast world where streaming and on-demand content are predominant. What are the steps that you are taking in North Macedonia?
We are present on social media, and we are making plans for increase these activities for next year. Also, spectators could follow us directly by their mobile phone, because as a television, public television, they have directly, free of charge, contact with our signals. And also we are active as a web television through web streaming, and I think we are reaching to our spectators and trying to motivate to follow us more.
Okay. Ms. Limata, if I put the same question about the post-broadcast world to you, what would be your reaction, and what are the steps that Zambia is taking to cater to these issues?
Okay, as a parliament, the Zambian parliament has also taken steps in addressing the issues of social media and our presence as a channel. So we also have an app where someone can stream the proceedings of parliament. And I had alluded earlier to the aspects of the social media platforms on which we are present. But also maybe just to stress a point that, we try by all means that whatever interventions that we make at the end of the day strive to take parliament closer to the people. So from the time of the inception of our channel, I didn't mention this at the beginning because our channel was launched in 2018. So we are about 5 years plus in existence. And with a few examples that I've given, we have grown. But then the opportunities are still many because every day, we have got new challenges. We had the time when Parliament was sitting during the COVID pandemic. And then as a Parliament, we had to look at interventions in which the Zambian the Parliament TV had to continue broadcasting during that pandemic, which I'm sure most countries were devastated. So as I said, opportunities are always there, challenges will always be there, but then maybe to just fast track and to look at the future of parliamentary channels. I'm so positive, and I think at the beginning, from inception, most parliaments were very reluctant with the idea of having parliamentary channels. We didn't think 20 years ago that we're going to have actually channels that were going to give the people first-hand information of what's happening in their respective parliaments. But here we are today. We have an opportunity where the members of the public will not rely on a journalist who is going to go into parliament and come and give them probably edited versions of what happened in parliament. But they have an opportunity to listen or to watch first-hand information. So the future for me is so exciting, because with the challenges that we face as a parliament, the opportunities are vast. And this is a challenge to a person like me, who has got this mammoth responsibility to ensure that whatever that happens in parliament gets to reach to the far-flung parts of Zambia. So the future, I think, for parliamentary channels is so bright. Yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Jachmann, how could parliamentary TV further evolve to continue its mission amid budgetary and technological challenges? We all know that all the channels face budgetary constraints.
Let me say some words to the question before, to the apps. And so it's very important for us to have our own media center, because we share a lot of our contents in YouTube or in other channels. But I think for a parliament, it's very important to have an own media center, to have the content themselves. And I think it's really important, but to share then, And I know that a lot of parliaments center contents about YouTube as the own channel. I think it's not the best way. That's in my opinion, I think so. Yes, and now the other things. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Sumano, your take on parliamentary channel furthering and evolving to continue its mission in the climate that we face on budgetary constraints and technological challenges?
Well, we have the challenge about the digital technologies, but the risks are there. We have to give the information to our citizens, to help our legislators, to our deputies and senates, to communicate the information from the parliament to the citizens. But in the Mexican Congress channel, we have another point of work. In accordance with the legal provisions applicable to all public media in Mexico, indeed, the channel has an audience ombudsman and a citizen advisory council. We have these ways to link with the social. We have then an ombudsman about the audiences working with us, and we have this citizen advisory council. We work all the time with these people from news, including journalists, radio and television producers, academics, among other people, and we're working with them to take the best decisions for the Congress channel. Not only the deputies and senates, the ombudsman and the citizens in this citizen advisory council, we are working to take the decisions about these topics, about digital politics of the channel, about EA, intelligence, artificial intelligence politics. We are working to construct the best decision for all the context, for all the broadcasts in our channel. But like in Germany, we think maybe the social media, maybe we are the best way to broadcast. We have to be there because the people, the young people are there, but we think in the same way is not the best way, but we have to be there in the social media to impact with the contest.
Okay, now we can open our question answer session from the audience, and people who have joined us online, they too can ask questions. Anyone putting up a question, kindly address to the guests that you want to ask this question to. If you are looking for a particular guest, you can answer. You can put that question to him or her too.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whichever part of the world you are from. I am Sumant, and I am Joint Secretary with Sansad TV. And my question is more towards the Mexican colleague of ours. Given your experience and given this conclave and given the interest that all of us have shown towards this conclave, what do you see as the way forward for such conclaves, but more importantly about having a structured framework for collaboration? And then I'll request the Zambia, the Miss Kashimbi to also jump in. Thank you.
Okay, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the collaboration? Well, in the Congress Channel Mexico, we collaborate with the Congress Channel in Latin America and the International Congress Parliamentaries in the region. I think because we are talking Spanish of the region, but well, we try to find a way to collaborate with other media. I'm very excited here in Sansad Television because I don't have the opportunity after this meeting to talk with these projects in Asia. We visit China. In China, I don't find a parliamentary channel, but it's very interesting here in India. You have this incredible channel about this work, about this produce, contest and broadcast the parliamentary work. In Mexico, in 28 and 10 years ago, we tried to organize a conclave like this. We have a C-SPAN, we have Brazil, we have Argentina, I remember we have Spain, and we start to talk about collaboration between Congress Channel, Global, maybe with the Interparliamentary Union, it's only idea, and we're talking about collaborate and share some broadcast interests or programs interesting in all the world, because the context in our channels is very specific for a country, but we found in Latin America we have topics interesting in all the region. For example, for Parlamento Latinoamericano in Panama, we share programs, broadcasts, and news contest in the broadcast of news. We share a lot of programs and broadcasts, and then we have a very interesting experience about this television and radio news broadcast in interchange. Then I think all the Congress channel we can find a way to collaborate between us, and the future I think is in that way, because the Interparliamentary Union, with all the years they have, we have an ex-president of this union. I think we have shared the way to share contest and work together.
Some more questions?
Okay, can I come in?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. My few reactions to that, areas of collaboration. I think I was excited when I was asked to be part of this panel. I should attest it's my first time. And as I've said, the Parliament Television is relatively new. And avenues such as these are very important because then they are learning experiences. And parliamentary broadcasting is also relatively new because then it poses a new area of journalism. It's different when you talk about state broadcasters, when we talk about our national broadcasters, parliamentary broadcasting is very specific. But also when we talk about the future of parliamentary broadcasting, I noted on the notes that were shared with me earlier, we're talking about what other things do we broadcast away from the proceedings of the House, away from committees. I noted other parliaments mentioned, you have got educational programs. These are areas in which we can collaborate, because then if you're going to talk about issues that are probably global in nature, right now people are talking about climate change issues. These are issues that are cross-cutting. So you see, as a parliamentary channels, away from the main core business, which we understand, which is the issues to do with proceedings of the House and in committees, but we also have other areas because we also aim at educating the people and informing them. So I think, to me, this is exciting. And my prayer is that probably it's just a beginning of many areas of collaboration, maybe through the IPU, as the colleague has mentioned, so that we can learn from other experiences. We're now talking about issues of AI, which are relatively new again. So we can leverage on different experiences and see how we can package our content with the core purpose of trying to address the concerns of citizens. How do we reach out to the young people? Probably, how do we reach out to the children? In the Zambian parliament, all our debates, we have incorporated sign language aspects. So that's one way in which we try to reach to people with disabilities. So we have a sign language interpreter whenever we are broadcasting. So all these are areas, to me, of opportunities in which we can collaborate. So thank you very much for the question, and I think that's the response that I can give.
More questions?
I have an observation.
Yes, sir.
So, in the first session that we had today, in fact, the SG of IPU, Mr. Martin Chungong, was also present, and he was very keen, in fact, on any assistance that he can provide for any kind of collaboration between TV channels. And so this is one beginning we can make. We can even think of sharing content, and now with software, the language barrier which is there can be easily overcome now with as the software develops. So this is also one area where we can collaborate closely.
So with that, we have come to the conclusion of this session. We had a very fruitful discussion throughout the day on media and democracy, and the insightful journey into the heart of how parliamentary channels function, and they are vital bridges between democratic institutions and the public. Hope we all have gained in this discussion around 1.5 hours, and indeed during the entire 3 sessions of the day. And these conversations will surely inspire and continue innovations and collaborations across media, and particularly the parliamentary media. Thank you all for participating in this useful exercise.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this meeting, and it's a pleasure to know you.
And we will send you our answers if it's possible, and then you can share it.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you around.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.